And boom.
Oh, there we go.
Hey,
what's up, man?
How you doing, everybody? As you can see and look at this panel, it's supposed to be one of those awesome live streams. Yes, sir. Because we just got FilmJunkee up in here.
What's going on?
I'm very excited. I'm feeling really giddy inside now.
See it, man.
Because I got all these celebrities. And you know what? Let me kick off the show on a crazy note. Okay. As you look at the panel, people called us crazy people because we believed in a imaginary movie that was supposed to never come out. And there was one person that I have in mind that said this. He basically almost called us idiots and dumb. And he said it was no way that a theatrical version of the Snyder Cut could ever come out. And then this week, you know what he said? Hey, just drop it on HBO Max for kicks. That's what that guy said. Now, I'm not going to put his name out there. I'm not going to put his name out there. But guess what? If you know YouTube, you know him. But besides that point, we're going to go around in a circle. Everybody going to introduce themselves, plug their channel. Tyler, let's start with you.
What's going on, everybody? I'm Tyler from Subjective Reviews. Sean?
Hey, what's going on, all? It's Sean O'Connell from CinemaBlend, and I'm going to plug the RTSC book Twitter feed. Give it a follow.
What's going on, guys? Dave, the Film Junkie here. That's usually how I start my video, so I don't know why I said it like that, but yeah. See me at the Film Junkie with 2 E's at the end.
And what's up, guys? I'm Dawson Weidrich from Nerdy in Many Ways. I apologize for my lack of video. This is what happens when you wait until the coronavirus stuff starts to buy a webcam, and they're all gone. But I want to give a quick shout-out to my brother, Briggs Comics. He's the guy that inspired me to start YouTube in the first place. Want to give a quick shout to him.
Awesome.
Hold on. So the virus have gotten that bad to where people are buying webcams too?
Yeah, like teachers buying it. Like I'll
not just teachers.
I went to Walmart. I went to Target. I went to every single store I could think of. They were all sold out. It was ridiculous.
I mean, the thing is, my wife is a teacher, and she's doing all this online stuff right now. So she needs like webcam, and she's never done this before, so she has to teach from home. Oh, so she's got to do all these like lesson plans and stuff, and videotape them and send them out to the students and everything. So yeah, everything's getting bought up.
I don't know about you guys, but I was about to start an OnlyFans account, you know. Just saying. I heard that's booming right now.
That makes sense though. Teachers buying webcams. Yep. I didn't think about that.
Yep.
Let's look at some people in the chat, and then we're just gonna go in. Chubby, he says, man, I just wanted to say hi. Don't know if I can be a part of this gangish fire that's going down the batter ass, aka wife. Hey man, don't call your wife a batter ass, man. Come on, bro. You're gonna get in trouble.
Even if it's accurate, you just can't say that.
Yeah, you can think it all you want, just don't say it.
Not on a live stream.
SNR comment.
No.
SNR comment says release the Snyder Cut. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
We got Benzo in the building. I hit the wrong person. But Jeffrey, that's Jeffrey. That's me and Tyler boy. He says, hey guys, let me tell y'all something. Sean and FilmJunkee, let me tell y'all something.
Yes, sir.
Jeffrey right here is like a computer. His brain is like a computer. I'm talking about all the cryptic stuff that Snyder comes out with.
Yeah.
He decodes it. Trust me.
I've seen his theories.
Yes, he's serious.
Interesting.
Bro.
Yeah, he's landed on some really interesting stuff. That's for sure.
Jeffrey, we love you. Chris Karan, the apocalypse is here when Walmart runs out of stock. I agree. If Walmart doesn't have it, guess what? The end of the world is here. Trust me.
It doesn't exist.
Tommy, Fatal J, the Ninjas needs you to share the stream. Yes, I do. And crash that like button. Smash that like button.
Absolutely.
We got hard boiled in here. SNR comments. Yeah, baby. Look here. Let me tell you something, hard boiled. When you come up in here, don't acknowledge Trey from SNR comments. You acknowledge me. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. I'm glad you're here. All right. This is how we're going to open it up, guys. March 25th was the 4-year anniversary of BVS. Anybody can answer this question. What was the best thing about BVS to you? And what was the least best thing, or the least favorite thing, or the least thing, or the thing you disliked about BVS? Let's put it like that. What was the best thing and the worst thing about BVS?
I'll start off. My favorite thing was the Batman warehouse fight scene.
Yeah,
I mean that's just one of the greatest fight scenes of all time. The one thing that I didn't like about it was that it wasn't 4 hours. So
hey, fair enough.
I'll build off that, and I'm going to just say that portrayal of Batman in general. Like prior to that, we had seen campy, in the Schumacher version, kind of in the Burton version a little bit as well too. I know Dave's a huge Batman fan. I know he's going to be able to weigh in with a lot more feedback. But then even trying to do something different than what Nolan did over the course of 3 films, they flash forward and do an older version of Batman, a sort of been through a lot, wrestling with a bunch of demons, taking that Frank Miller approach. It fit, I thought, pretty seamlessly into what was already established in Man of Steel, the tone and the atmosphere.
Yeah.
But expanded it out to sort of say, like, this is what Gotham would kind of be like, especially Ultimate Edition. Every time Clark goes over and does reporting in Gotham, I'm always fascinated by those little insights into what the community is like. And so just being able to see what Snyder was going to do and could do with Batman was my favorite part of Ultimate.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree about the Batman scene. Batman character in general, just the breaking down of the character that I guess some people didn't exactly grasp onto when they watched the movie. He doesn't kill. He doesn't kill. What the hell, man? Like this one does, because, well, he's lost his way. It's right when Alfred drops the newspaper and says new rules, that explained that entire arc right there, and that's one of the things I loved about it. And then one of the things I hated about it, not enough Gal Gadot.
Hey, and this is what I don't understand here. He doesn't kill. Guess what? You haven't read Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, which the movie was based on.
Or various others. Yeah.
I mean, think about the part where in Dark Knight Returns, when he was fighting the mutant leader, and he was breaking his bones and was talking about he was a surgeon, and this is the surgical table.
Mm-hmm.
Batman was brutal in that.
The funny thing about that whole complaint about him not killing is that there's actually a lot of people that try to argue that Batman doesn't kill in the Dark Knight Returns comic book series.
Yep.
And I don't understand what they're like. They try to convince me, and I'm just like, no, that's not true at all. Like, anyway, and I think it's interesting because when people try to boil down Batman as just simply a character that doesn't kill and fights for justice, that makes him very bland. That's not all that what Batman is. Batman, like you guys have mentioned, is a very troubled, very broken down character, even in his younger years, right? And that's one thing I loved also about the Ultimate Edition. But I'll do something different from what I liked about it. I love the portrayal of the media and how they handled Superman. I talked with Fatal J about this on my live stream with him, and I thought it was brilliant how they made Superman the figure of controversy. And maybe the thing I didn't quite like as much was the whole Lois Lane part of the story wasn't as developed as maybe I would have liked. It was developed enough, but I would have liked to see more of maybe her gathering information and maybe her figuring things out rather than what we got. But I was still fine with it.
This is my only beef with BVS. I thought BVS was a classic. Don't get me wrong. I think the only thing that hurt BVS was the Doomsday. I think if Doomsday would have had another name, like the Abomination or something along those lines, it would have been a flawless, perfect movie in my books. I even could have rocked with the death of Superman, even though that should have been a movie on its own. But I think that was the mess up right there, calling it Doomsday. Because Doomsday's supposed to be a whole nother saga on its own. Any thoughts about that?
It almost makes you wonder too if, and all this is hindsight, if the confrontation between Batman and Superman manipulated by Lex could have been the conclusion, right? If that was the end of the movie, right? Like you get a whole nother act and a whole nother fight, and of course it's the Trinity because Wonder Woman has to join in where they fight Doomsday. Yeah. But if almost the structure of the movie was that it ended with the Batman-Superman fight and then them sort of prevailing over Lex, I don't know if you necessarily need, because like you said, you could have done a whole Doomsday story, because then it gets into, I just did a audio commentary for CinemaBlend YouTube channel. And I said, it's a little bit strange that it almost feels like you're starting into another movie once the Doomsday fight begins.
It's another arc.
It's another arc, as it almost felt like everything that was building up came to a resolution because the whole movie is about getting Batman to fight Superman. You know, Lex manipulating Batman to finally kill Superman with the kryptonite weapon, and then you get to a point where he doesn't, but then they extend and keep going out and doing the Doomsday fight, which was very cool to see. But yeah, I mean, Jay brings up a great point. I wonder if they could have saved that for another film.
Any thoughts?
What was I going to say? Oh, I mean, I always knew there was going to be like another villain in the movie, though. There just had to be. You know, you were going to have that confrontation between Superman and Batman, and then obviously they were going to work things out. So I knew there had to be something else that they were going to fight towards.
No, here it comes.
Here we go.
Dave, Film Junkie, hang on to your seats, and if you can't handle bright lights, please close your eyes. John Matrix with the $5 super chat.
Oh my goodness!
I think I just had a seizure.
That's why I told you to close your eyes, because if people have that on my watch, I'm gonna feel bad.
It's coming.
John Matrix with the $5 super chat. He says, "Much love to you, brother. Release the Snyder Cut before Jay loses his damn mind." Thank you so much, John Matrix. John Matrix, if it's a moderator in the chat, please plug his channel. Oh man, he's a good friend of mine, makes awesome content. His YouTube is blowing up. It's blowing up. Thank you so much, John Matrix. Now, this is the discussion right here, the meat on the table. For some odd reason, a lot of people was talking about Snyder Cut this week. Now, I know why. Can somebody in the panel discuss why Snyder Cut was so popular this week?
You mean with like other people sort of weighing in, the people not in the movement necessarily?
A lot of people who's not in the movement, who doubted the movement and said this was never going to come out. I'm not going to drop names. I want to drop names bad. I really do. But I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that.
I mean, I think the trending thing helped. You know, I think getting BVS 4 years trending would have been a big thing to get people to sort of pay attention to it. I think the event, I'm disappointed for a number of different reasons why the Detroit event can't happen. But I think the visual of that, of a group getting together to watch that movie, you know, on its anniversary in a theater would have sent a message that hopefully we're able to replicate, you know, later today with a Twitch stream party. But just a visual of fans sort of coming together from all over to celebrate the anniversary of that film, I think would have sent a really great message and get even more people talking about it. But honestly, I think the trending thing helped raise the awareness and get a few more people sort of weighing in and talking about it.
Anybody else?
No, I agree with Sean. I mean, you know, because the 4-year anniversary, so it got people talking about it, and you know, and then of course the whole Grace Randolph thing blew up. And
I wasn't gonna drop names, but guess what?
but you have to. You have to. I mean, I'm not necessarily saying it's her. I mean, there was all these articles written about it as well. But you know, you knew that was going to make news. If someone like that said something.
Tyler, okay, since you dropped the name, I can go with it. Now, Sean,
I'm sorry.
Now, Sean and Dave, I don't know how cool y'all is with Grace.
Yes, sir.
Are y'all cool with Grace like that?
I'm fine.
Okay, good. I can go in now.
No, not at all. I will say one thing. I think that it's Grace has been proven wrong more than she's been proven right.
Yes.
And so when people take things that she reports, I just think you just know that before you put too much salt in anything that comes out of her channel. That's all I'll say. That's all I'll say. Listen, everybody has to have a track record. Your sites and your outlets have to have a track record, and people pay attention to what your track record is. And if you report more wrong than right, then we have to acknowledge that when we, use it. I mean, that's all I'll say. I'll leave it at that.
The thing that frustrates me is just like it seems like every other week, either we love Grace or we hate Grace, depending on what she's saying. Either she's saying something good about the Snyder Cut, or like it's inevitable, it's about to come out, or they're about to announce it, or what I heard is this, that, and this, and people start freaking out about it. But then when she says something that's not so great, like, oh, the DCU is going to be rebooted with Flashpoint or something like that, everybody hates on her. And I'm just like, what is it this week? Do we love her? Do we hate her? And like, me personally, I can't stand her. I don't watch her channels. I'm just like 2 seconds in, I'm like, nope, I'm throwing. Yeah, I can't. I'm really not a fan. But she built up her brand. She has her audience, and I'll respect her for that at least.
Dave, and you're right. I got total respect for her. I really do. Man, we got 27 people here. Smash that like button too. Thank you.
There we go.
Because the thing about YouTube, I think since the virus been going on, a lot of live streams been suffering. And I think they're doing something weird with the live stream. So I really appreciate it. Smash the like button. Thank you so much. But this is the thing about Grace, okay? Like Sean said, she's very hit or miss, okay? And these sources have been wrong a lot. So I'm thinking, is your sources the Muffin Babies? Are they real? But what really struck me, because I'd like to go into YouTube and search different channels to speak on Snyder Cut, and it shocked me to see that she was speaking on it. And I really feel like she's right this time when she said that HBO Max was going to make Snyder Cut one of their launch titles to grab people in. Mm-hmm. What you guys think about that? Because we've been talking about HBO Max for the longest within the movement. But what do you think about that coming from Grace Randolph's mouth?
I think it's very interesting because, like, again, we've talked about how she's obviously a big-time YouTuber. And there's actually a comment here saying that, here, let's see who it was. It was Krypton Cage who said it, that she's always in support of the Snyder Cut. Apparently, I'm not sure about this, that in her Justice League review was one of the first ones to tell everyone that the original Justice League was very different and way better. So you can see that she has at least a little bit of support for that. So it gives me a little bit of comfort knowing that when she's talking about it, she's being at least somewhat genuine about it. But again, just having other big names out there saying like, hey, this thing is actually happening is really comforting for Snyder Cut fans, as well as just simply just fans of Zack Snyder DC in general.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. Like as a journalist, you're inherently skeptic of everything that you're told. Right. And it's constantly you ask, OK, but how or why? You're always asking how and why and what to get to the root of what the source of it is. And when people and it's not just Grace, when it's a lot of people who use sources have told me, and your opinion sways like a weather vane, then I tend not to believe in your sources, kind of thing. Like the people who have really proven with established sources.
Sean, I think about when I was a little kid, and the little kid, he'll tell the other kid, well, my friend said you looked ugly. That's you saying that. That ain't your friend. You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah. Of course. Yeah, and it's really easy to do that and not have to back it up, with when stuff comes out and it disproves what you said, which speaks to a lot of the people that I don't think you want to name drop, Jay, and I get it, because I don't either. It's we all basically know who everyone else is talking about. Yeah, you got to fill a lot of content, so you can say what you think needs to be said. So like the HBO Max thing, you could believe one or two different things. The people who say they have sources are hearing something from HBO Max, or they're sitting down and thinking, that would be a legitimate fit, much the same way that we're doing right here. Oh, that would be a legitimate fit. So I'll just go out there and say that it's confirmed, and we'll see what kind of hits we get, in terms of driving up attention and maybe getting people to come around and watch your stream.
And I think I just want to add on to that about Grace Randolph. I think what she took was information. She just added on to it. Yeah. She took the information that Zack put out there about how he's going to film additional scenes. Yeah. And then she added on to that saying that, there's a virus going on right now. So obviously Zack can't film those scenes. So in her mind, it was like, I'll just say I have sources that are saying it was going to debut on HBO Max, but now it can't because Zack has to film more scenes. So she's getting like some of it.
We've been saying that.
Yeah. We all knew this. Exactly. This happened weeks ago. And now she's just
But Tyler, what threw me off though, it was coming from her. But I see a lot of people in the chat saying she's a Snyder Cut supporter. So okay,
I think sometimes she is.
That's what I was thinking too. I thought
when she needs like the views.
Depends on when it's popular.
Yeah.
Now my man right here, Birdie, he says, "What do you guys think of the rumor that WW84 has an element within the change of the universe?" I want to speak on Wonder Woman for real quick. Do you guys think Wonder Woman will dictate when the Snyder Cut drops, since it got delayed?
So I actually want to address that comment a little bit. How they're saying that's going to kind of reboot things, because a lot of people are saying that since it's in 1984, it kind of debunks the whole thing that she said in BBS, where 100 years ago I walked away from mankind. But the thing about it is that I've been watching that trailer over and over again, and of course everybody's thrown off by the whole, Steve being back, right? And people are trying to figure out how exactly that's possible, and they kind of hinted at that. I don't know how much there is to this, but I have kind of a theory that it might be kind of like a hallucination sequence, to where it stays true to the fact that she's walked away from mankind, but she somehow got into this weird trance thing of I don't know whatever this movie is. So maybe that could address the idea of it's not tampering with the DCEU. But I think, I don't know, it's just very interesting. I thought about it the other day, and I just want to hear what you guys think about that.
Well, and then there's some people that have the theory too that you see her taking out all the security cameras,
right?
And this is 1984. Not everybody's going to pull out their cell phone cam and be like, "Oh my God, it's Wonder Woman!" Jesus, But now she's taking out all the cameras to like basically say, "Hey, something happened here. What happened here? Who knows? We don't have footage of it. The cameras went out." So there was that theory too, but your guess is as good as mine.
Do we even know how Steve Trevor can be back? Theories on that?
When you watch the trailer, you kind of get a sense that it's somebody else, and he's convincing her. That's why when he puts the Casio watch like on her hand, and then all of a sudden she sees him, I think it's just like somehow it's brought back to that whatchamacallit, that Max Lord's holding onto
the
rock. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
I think it has something to do with that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, I read like a script leak or something like that seemed pretty legit. And yeah, I'm not going to get into spoilers, but yeah, it explains how it all goes down. So
and there's also that clip in the trailer where it shows him, or it has this audio of the villain saying that you can have anything you want, whatever you wish for. Just something with that, I'm sure.
Yeah, and that same magic is what's turning Barbara into Cheetah.
Yeah.
Oh, for real?
Yeah.
So is Cheetah the main villain, or is somebody else?
Well, it's mainly Max Lord, I guess you could say, but he's kind of like I guess you could say he's like the Lex Luthor in this story. Like he's manipulating things. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Gotcha.
My biggest beef with this Wonder Woman movie so far, and I haven't even seen it yet, so I'm going to hold my judgments on it. But Kristen Wiig as Cheetah, I don't know if I'm bored with that. I don't know if I could take her seriously, because everything I've seen her in, she's just very goofy. And to me, that's just not Cheetah. So I don't know. Maybe she can pull it off. Maybe she'll surprise me, but who knows?
Well, they riding a lot on Wonder Woman. This is like their baby right here.
Right.
What Wonder Woman has turned into the franchise, the flagship title of DCEU. I'm for real, man. They really riding on it, and that's why it's kind of making me nervous that they delaying this, because I still think wherever Wonder Woman lands on the month, I think that decides when the Snyder Cut is dropping. But it's just me.
Now, how so? Elaborate. I want to hear your theory on that.
Well, because DC knows that the Snyder Cut movement is huge. It's a big monster. But they want all the attention to be on Wonder Woman. And I know DC with the legalities, and I know that ain't a real word, but I like using it.
It is now.
With the legal stuff, they still control the Snyder Cut, right?
Sure.
So I know they're going to strategically drop them on certain months, not the same month. You know what I mean? Because it's like what Jim Lee said. Jim Lee wants us all to come together. He don't want us to be separate. He don't want you to love this more than the other. So I think they're trying to pinpoint when to drop this one, when to drop this one. And when they drop this one, it's going to decide when they're going to drop that one.
Well, but I'll tell you that the release schedule in general, though, is currently all over the place.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
with theaters being closed, it is going to be, we've been having this conversation a lot over at CinemaBlend and trying to figure out the mad dash and the scramble that's going to happen when theaters are able to open up again.
Or not happen too. People might be too scared to even go back.
Well,
Yeah,
that's a great question as well, too.
I'm going to run straight to the theater as soon as it opens. Like, I'm there.
Me too.
I'll wear
a
a
mask
hazmat
on.
suit. I don't care. Yeah, exactly.
I'm gonna wear a Darth Vader mask until the.
Like, for real, the question is, like, the first few movies that open up might be hesitant because there are a lot of people who don't feel that way. You
exactly.
know? So maybe if it's Black Widow or Quiet Place 2 or something like that, you know, that they struggle a little bit because they're opening, like if China opened up their theaters and they were only open for a couple of days and then they end up closing again. There's
like half capacity. Yeah, that was one of the things I brought up when the date got changed for Wonder Woman. I was like, is that going to be enough? Is that enough of a window to let people be comfortable enough to go back in the movie? That's why I was like, maybe they should push it to November. I don't know if there's enough time. It's kind of hard to determine. I mean, this whole thing that's happening, you can't predict what's going to happen in the next couple of months.
But I think DC is trying to time it just right to where when all this stuff, when all this lightens up,
right,
Wonder Woman comes out that month, and then they're hoping everybody flood in. I think if they drop Wonder Woman right now in theaters, a gang of people will go in.
Yeah.
I know I would be one of them.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be as much as they would hope or as the first one got, but it would still be a good amount of people.
Yeah. But you won't see something like that go to a streaming service.
Right.
Too many of these big theatrical movies are waiting for the right time for when movie theaters are back open up again. But it creates a whole nother conversation of just, you know, to keep things on Snyder Cut for this reason. That's why I still think the HBO Max makes more sense for it as a solution.
For the Snyder Cut?
Yeah, because the theatrical experience is going to be chaotic for a long time as all of this gets straightened out with movies that were due to come. So I think it's better to put it on HBO Max and let people finally see it.
Well, I think you make a good point because China is big moviegoers too, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So we need to pay attention to what China is doing with their movie theaters because it's going to dictate, it's going to kind of be similar to what we do. But I think you're right. If they put Wonder Woman on freaking HBO Max, that's a bad mistake. They're going to lose a lot of money.
Right.
Because you got like older people that still don't know how to do streaming. Let's just be real. You know. So
very true.
Okay, this is the other question I have for you guys. With the Snyder Cut, I remember I had a topic. I did a video about what Sean said. And Sean, you said it would be a good idea if the Snyder Cut was animated, like after the Snyder Cut.
Oh, okay.
You remember that? And
I do.
You know what? People got mad at me.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, boy.
What's that like?
I'm talking about pitchforks, torches, and
cats and dogs living together.
I was just throwing out there an idea of finishing up Zack Snyder's run.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
But after I seen their response, when the Snyder Cut drops, and yes, it's dropping, do you think it's going to make DC change their minds about Zack Snyder and do a Snyder Cut run? Because I'm thinking, now this is my predictions, this movie is going to do freaking good.
Absolutely.
It's going to do good. And you know why it's going to do good? Because you got people that hate Zack Snyder and you got people that love Zack Snyder, and they're all going to watch it out of curiosity.
Well, if the Snyder Cut's half as successful as we think it's going to be, Warner Bros. Would be stupid not to try to continue it. I mean, it might not be possible with all the different contracts and stuff with actors, but if they didn't pursue it, that'd just be moronic, in my opinion.
Can you imagine if they recast?
Oh boy. That would get pitchforks and hysteria, even worse than what Fatal J got. That would be ridiculous.
So it becomes a difficult situation for that reason, right? Like you just threw out something very casual of, I don't know what would happen with actors and contracts, but that's a huge thing, you know.
Right.
That's a huge thing, and so logistically, it just feels really difficult to try to continue that vision with live action.
Right.
But I mean, if you could do like the Avengers thing where you could just film JL2 and 3, you know, all at once, and just wait a couple years and just get everyone in and just film it all and then just be done with it. I think that's a possibility.
And have Warner Brothers just stay out of the way.
Yeah, that'll be a cold day. Yeah, like Sean said, it's difficult. The logistics of all that. I mean, you got Gal Gadot and you got Momoa, who are they're the golden childs right now at Warner DC because they currently have franchises, so they're in a bit of a pickle. Ray Fisher for sure would come back because he's the one that got the worst of it, I think.
Oh yeah,
because everybody else has movies aligned. What's going on with Ray Fisher? That sucks. But then you got to think about Ben Affleck. Would he want to come back to continue on to do another Justice League movie? Now, I think Affleck would come back to do any reshoots, additional photography, if Snyder wanted to. I think he definitely would. Just going by recent interviews and what he's been saying and supporting the Snyder Cut and supporting Zack and saying how much he loves the guy. I 100%, and he's in good shape right now too. Like he wouldn't need to get in ridiculous BBS montage shape. He doesn't need to do that again. But he's in good enough shape where he put on that costume, he would still look like he did back in 2016. So I think he would come back for that. I just don't know to extend that. Who knows? And then you got Henry Cavill, who's just so up in the air right now because he wants a new Superman movie right now. So does he come back? He's kind of really in the middle because we're waiting for that new Superman movie at the same time all this is happening.
Dave, right? Go ahead, Sean.
I usually am.
No, I didn't have anything. I agree with all that.
Oh, but Dave, this is the only thing. I'm not even worried about anybody else except Henry Cavill. Because Henry Cavill is the most quiet one out the group. And rightfully so. Yeah. Because they don't pay him at DC. But I want to add one weird thing that I noticed about Ben Affleck, about his movie The Way Back. Strong Arm Flicks pointed this out to me, and Jeff did too. Did y'all notice on the Way Back trailers, the time was 2:14?
Pretty crazy, huh?
Now that is some conspiracy theory.
Where's Swenson at? We need a freaking tinfoil hat on here.
But is that coincidence or what?
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then the title of the movie is called The Way Back.
Well, it was trailer 1 and 2 were both 2 minutes and 14 seconds.
Trailer 1 and 2.
Both of them?
Wow.
All right, maybe
that's stirring the pot a little bit. I think the main thing with Ben Affleck is like kind of what we were talking about is he talked about how he lost his, I guess, passion for it during the reshoots of Justice League. Sure. But I think with good enough convincing from Zack Snyder and giving him that potential to play that BVS version of Batman again, I think he would consider that more so rather than if some separate director came up to him. Because him and Zack Snyder have a really good relationship. Like they really trust each other. They have a fun time with each other filming, or at least you've seen that from BVS. And so I think he'd be a little bit easier to convince than maybe some people would think. But like you said, Henry Cavill, that's the one. It's like, you got to pay me, man. Got to give me the big bucks in order for me to come back.
Yeah.
You also have to factor in that they are trying to launch another Batman series. And it would almost be like, to use a Marvel analogy, like imagine someone trying to do an Avengers film with Chris Evans while launching another Captain America with a different Captain America. It complicates things from that perspective. I've been saying, and I'll keep saying, I think that the getting Zack's Justice League released is the win. I think that's the win. And anything else seems too difficult.
And then even like what you said, Jay, too, and I also received my bit of hate too. I went further and I said it should just be a graphic novel illustrated by Jim Lee. Because we already know that Jim Lee is like, he's done art for Snyder. Jim Lee knows exactly what Snyder wanted for that arc, that Superman arc. So, I mean, animated is good. The only thing about animated, how long are those movies? Hour and 10 minutes? You want Snyder to do an hour and 10-minute movie? That's not even the first act. I mean, come on. The man loves to freaking tell the story. So I always thought the best way to do it was graphic novel form because you get that long form storytelling that he loves to do.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I would take that.
Okay.
I'm just curious from a story perspective, right?
Yeah.
Don't we just want to see how the story maps out?
That's exactly, especially, I mean, look at your shirt, Sean. I mean, that's the story right there.
Right.
You know,
but I want a legitimate live action Lantern though.
Yeah.
I
really do.
One that's not Ryan Reynolds.
Yes.
Yes.
What's gonna be in the Snyder Cut?
Through no fault of his own. I
thought he was a good
true.
Jordan, but the movie sucked. He was good.
Right.
Yeah, and Sinestro should have been the villain and not that thing.
Yeah.
You know that thing he was fighting?
Parallax or what was it called?
It was a vape cloud.
Yeah, it was Parallax.
Oh, we went through a phase where all of the villains in superhero movies ended up becoming like huge clouds, like Galactus and Fantastic Four was a cloud.
Oh gosh,
it's weird when you see trends like that.
Yeah.
Okay, for my man, I can't say that name. I'm gonna try my best. I know I'm gonna butcher your name right now, but hey, it's all love. Shari Katwadkar. He says, but if they release in November, and I guess he's talking about Snyder Cut, they will probably have backlash because Justice League was in November.
Well, I would have to disagree. I disagree hardly with that. I think people that are fans of the Snyder Cut would see it as poetic justice to have it released at the same time.
Yes.
And they would cheer for that, I think.
I
would agree. Yeah. I think whenever it hits, people will be happy.
Sean Jumley, I'm reading Hardball. Hardball, thank you for being here, man. You always support. He said Jim Lee has been strongly implying he's been working to push for an on-screen DC multiverse. Thus, those Batman films in another universe will be acceptable.
Sure. Yeah.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, listen, and not only that, and I know I keep bringing up Marvel, but Marvel is going to start dabbling in a multiverse very soon too. So I think you're getting to a point where mainstream audiences are being educated in what a multiverse is, and I think that the Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse animated film did a lot to educate people just on what the concept of the multiverse is.
True.
Right.
Sure, you can go down that route.
No.
Let me finish this point.
Finish your points, John.
If we had the Flashpoint movie earlier when it was intended, maybe that would have gone a little bit further in setting up how the DC could have played around in that. But we're in a different realm right now where that movie's coming later. I know Andy Muschietti's working on it right now.
Yeah.
And I think they're supposed to start filming. So, all right, now I'm strapped in.
Okay. If you can't handle bright lights, please close your eyes. We got JN with the $5 super chat. This is what JN says. Back to BBS for the masses' sake. Future Flash and Wonder Woman finding league scenes should have been post-credit scenes. Only thing I'll change in BBS opinions.
Man, the Future Flash scene is still one of my favorite moments.
Yeah, I freaked out. I freaked out.
And I kind of love where Zach put it because he was almost like, I'm not doing it as an end credit scene. I'm putting it right into the movie. Now, in hindsight, it is kind of funny that like Bruce opens up the file. It's gonna take a long time to download. He's gonna sleep in his chair.
Let's take a nap.
It's a funny way into it. And I was saying on the recording that I did, like, Nightmare Sequence now makes a lot of sense because we've all been able to sort of process it and we know what it is. But the first time you were watching it, when Zach goes into the Nightmare Sequence, it's jarring.
It's a weird transition.
Yeah, you are just like, what is happening now? What movie are we in? And then he comes out of that with a flash forward, no pun intended. And God, I thought it was a really inspired way to bring it into the story.
And then even add more to that, the papers in the background flying around when he wakes up. It's like, okay, what the heck?
Yes. So it wasn't a daydream.
It's pretty interesting, and I remember freaking out about it. I turned to my friend. I'm like, "That's a flash! That's a flash! Oh my god, he's going through time. Something's happening with time. Oh my god!" But to go back onto the multiverse thing, I think, like you said, Sean, that also Marvel is going to be dealing with the multiverse, which I think that's what they have to do now that the Infinity Saga is ending. Now it's like now they're going to have the multiverse saga, which is great. That's fine and dandy. But when it comes to the multiverse, I mean, what's to say that you can't have one universe in the movies, one universe with the TV shows, and then one universe in a streaming show.
Exactly.
HBO Max could be, and I've discussed this with various other people too that said like, well, if they release the Snyder Cut on HBO Max and it's a hit, what if they wanted to continue on that story or even bring in Ben Affleck to do his Batman and put it on HBO Max? That could be like just another place to put it where it doesn't really confuse too many people. But then you also got the Green Lantern show that's coming, that's supposed to tie in to maybe the movie. I don't know. But I just always thought of it like if they're going to do a multiverse, if they could do a multiverse thing to have Snyder's DC universe come back, it would have to be separate from other stuff, I guess you could say. I don't know, because we saw Ezra Miller show up on the CW.
Right.
That opened doors to all that. To me, I was like, this is great. And the people that weren't happy about it, I'm like, how are you not happy about this? They just opened the door and said, hey, guess what? There's Ezra Miller's Flash. Who cast him? Zack Snyder did. So it's part of that universe.
Right.
And this all goes back to Zack changing the name of the movie too. I had someone a while ago in one of my videos tell me that he should change the name of the movie. Don't just make it a Justice League extended cut or something like that. Change the name completely, which he did. Now it's Zack Snyder's Justice League. And I just thought about this the other day with the poster contest winner, right? Mm-hmm. If you look at like most of like DVD covers and everything, and you think of like an Avengers or Justice League, it's usually like a group, together fighting whatever. And the poster, if you think about it, is so off the wall and different. So when people see this is Zack Snyder's Justice League, they're going to be like, what is this? What do you mean, Zack's, and the poster, it's just going to be like, what's going on here? Mm-hmm. So I just wanted to throw that in there. And going off of what Dave said about, I also said this was having your Zack Snyder's Justice League over here on HBO Max. Mm-hmm. And if it's very successful, maybe let Zack come back and finish his Snyderverse if he wants to. Again, if it's very successful, and you can have Ben over here on HBO Max and Gal Gadot and all those people over here, and then you can have your WB DCEU, and you can whatever if you want to add in Robert Pattinson's Batman as the new Batman in the DCU and get a new Superman, do that over here for WB movies or something like that. You know what I mean? Because that again goes along with the multiverse.
That's perfect what Dave said, because Dave made me think about Netflix Marvel. Remember when we got Daredevil, Luke Cage, and then remember they were solo, and then after a while they came out with what was their team name?
The Defenders. Yeah,
the Defenders, and that now even though the Defenders sucked, it still had me hyped. Before I knew it sucked, I was hyped about that, and I think they could do that on HBO Max. Have the Snyder Cut on there, and maybe like y'all said, have some Snyder Cut shows on there. That would be dope. And that's like what Tyler said, you can keep everything separated because the Netflix Marvel didn't interfere with the movie Marvel. Yeah.
But you know what you need in all of these instances is a strong guiding voice.
Yes,
you do.
And I just don't see that at Warner Brothers currently.
But this is the thing, Sean. This is what really blew my mind.
Maybe it's Jim Lee.
If they would,
that's what I was thinking.
Okay.
Well, Jim Lee, you're my favorite comic book artist of all time. but Jim Lee is one of them nice guys that don't want to offend people. So he just gonna play his role of being, make him happy, make him happy, make him happy. But you're right. If they would have let Zack Snyder play the Kevin Feige role of DCEU, I think the whole universe would have looked different and they would have killed it. Because I didn't know this. In Suicide Squad, and Strong Arm Flicks told me about this. You remember those little monster things they was fighting in the beginning of the movie? Mm-hmm. Those were supposed to be parademons. Mm-hmm. Oh, I think and the main villain of Suicide Squad, remember the witch woman Temptress?
Yeah.
That was supposed to be Steppenwolf.
Yeah.
That's
I don't know.
And that thing was supposed to be a boom tube instead of the whole portal thing. It was supposed to be a boom tube.
See, if they would have let Zack Snyder just be the Kevin Feige of DCEU, it would have made sense in the whole spectrum.
Absolutely.
If they would have let him put the Nightmare Scene in Justice League, it would have made sense. We didn't see nothing about the Nightmare Scene in Justice League at all.
Right. Wasn't Cyborg supposed to get? Cyborg is supposed to have one when he actually.
Cyborg, he was supposed to go postal, nuts.
So I want to ask you guys something. I actually thought about this last night. The Snyder Cut is a very long film, right? There's a whole lot of things in it. I was wondering if maybe there would be a possibility of it maybe being released as a mini series. Because think about it, there's the Flash whole thing's backstory about him, the scenes with him that we didn't get to see. Then you have, of course, Cyborg, Victor Stone, didn't get to see with the football and his mom and the car crash. There's a whole lot of things to explore, and there are a lot of people out there who won't want to sit down for a long film. I mean, I'd be more than down to do that, but that's just me and a couple of people, I think. But I think it'd be an interesting idea to maybe try to cut it as a miniseries. I don't think it would be very easy to do. What do you guys think about that?
I actually really agree with that. Because if you think about it, right now it's currently 3 hours and 34 minutes.
Right.
If he does additional photography, that runtime is going up. That's why, as much as like the 214 means a lot right now, but it's not going to be 214 when it comes out for sure.
Right. You think it's going to be longer?
Yeah. I hope it's 6 hours long. But
I hope he gets everything he wants in there.
Yeah,
me too.
I mean, he even said too the original assembly cut was over 4 hours. If he takes some of that footage that he had before, maybe injects it in there, and then does additional photography, he could divide it up into 8 half-hour episodes. I mean, yeah, the hard part is try to do like a cliffhanger out of each episode. That might be the difficult task. But if he were to divide it up, I mean, you got 8 episodes right there. Or even if you go 45 minutes, you could divide it up into a 6-episode or 5-episode miniseries. So I actually think that he would go that route because he could then tell the story. And I think he would, because I heard that his Fountainhead story, like, I mean, that book is, you've seen the size of that book. Yeah, that book is super thick, and and people were thinking that, oh, he's going to make a movie about that. I'm like, no, he's going to make a series out of that. There's no way that you could condense that, even for him to condense that into 3 hours or 3.5. No, that needs to be a full-on series. So I think he's going to eventually jump into that. To be honest, after Army of the Dead, I think he's still going to do movies, but I think he's going to start dealing with streaming, especially since streaming is such a huge thing now.
You need
to.
Yeah. But Dave, I agree and I don't agree. Okay. This is the thing. If the Ultimate Edition, you said cut down the movie. Mm-hmm. If the Ultimate Edition would have came out before the theatrical version, I don't care how long that freaking movie was. I would have sat through it. I would have got one of those urinals. The one, the thing they have in the hospital, and I would have put that right by me, and I would have sat through that movie. Cause, bro, I don't even care about the time. I don't care, and I don't think most moviegoers do either. Cause think about it. Have you sat through Goodfellas?
What about The Irishman?
I never seen that. I heard it's mad long though.
It's long. It's long, but it's good.
Yeah.
It's Martin Scorsese, so it flows. I mean, that's what you have to do.
I think if you just have a rocking story, people don't care about sitting long.
It's true.
There was the movie Raider actually commented.
Hold that thought. Hey, hold that thought.
Absolutely.
I got to make people go blind real quick.
Bring it on. As you wish.
Sporking News Podcast. $8 super chat. This is my buddy right here. He says, just because, my brother. Hey, thank you so much. Do you know what I can do with $2? I can go to McDonald's right now and get 2 cheeseburgers. Thank you, my friend. You just bought me lunch today, bro. And sport, yes, I will be on your live stream tonight to answer your question.
There you go.
Nice.
Nerdy, go ahead and bless us with your thoughts.
So the movie Raider actually commented, he said, maybe make it both a miniseries and have the option of a full-length film so that people who would be willing to sit down for the full length can do that, but people who maybe aren't as willing can still have the miniseries option and like binge for a little bit of it at a time. I actually really agree with that. I like that thought, movie Raider.
You know what I think too? This maybe Zach, when he's talking about doing additional filming, is almost realizing this is going to be his last shot with these characters.
Right.
So maybe while I don't think he's pulling in all of the elements from the 2 films that he won't get to realize, maybe he's just bringing in some of those elements to advance a few storylines and maybe bring some closure. Like last time we were on this stream with Jay, Chris brought up a good point that if the original Snyder Cut ended with a cliffhanger, that maybe Zach has figured out a way to sort of end it almost. And I don't know if he's, adding some additional stuff to make it longer, but also just to bring some closure to his arc, knowing that it's not going to be able to continue the way that he ultimately wanted it to.
And he just wants to get it as perfect as possible. That would make sense to me. Yeah,
possibly.
But Sean, you think this is the last hoorah? You really do?
I mean, I do. I don't want to be a fatalist, you know. I just I'm trying to speak from I'm trying to speak to the way that I think that not just movies are made, but the way that DC is moving forward in the time that has passed since Zack had a shot at it. And they seem pretty content with the individual franchises, you know, Aquaman having his own, Wonder Woman having her own, moving on to things like Flash. It does seem a little bit crazy that they don't have plans in place for a Justice League film. It's such a valuable franchise. It's such a valuable, you can market a Justice League movie so easily. But it feels like they're going to continue moving forward with individual storylines. And I'm not quite sure that they want to get into doing what Zack was originally trying to do.
Sean, you said it. They don't want to, but money talks.
Yeah, for sure.
And see, I'm stepping out as a fan. I'm definitely a fan, and I want to see more. And as Americans, you know how we are. If it's good, we want more.
Exactly.
But I'm stepping out as a fan, and I'm looking at if this movie is really successful and bring in the dollars, even though DC don't want to go with it anymore, and even though they don't like talking about it, I feel like more is coming if it does well.
Well, Jay, you also raise a good point because now AT&T is in control. So
yes,
you know, if WB was like, "Oh, we have plans to just get rid of Zack and not do his movies, whatever," he's just out, he's done. And AT&T is like, "Well, we want money because now we're in debt, so we're gonna release this Snyder Cut, and it did very well. We want Zack to come back." Well, you know, and now AT&T has their Warner Media that's going to make movies for HBO Max, so it's going to get really interesting.
Abu Nas, before I blow you up, I sent you a link to this show. I wanted you on, but we supposed to wrap it up. It's 9 minutes left, so you can't blame me. But thank you so much for the $5, and here we go.
Now listen to me, boys. Always remember these words: work hard, study well, and eat and sleep plenty. That is the Turtle Hermit way.
you know, Jay, this is great. I get to watch Dragon Ball Z and live stream at the same time.
Hey, man, I like to entertain the panel in the chat.
It's great, man.
Abu Nas with the $5. If you don't know, Abu Nas is my brother. We have another live stream that goes on Tuesday at 7 o'clock Eastern called Dark Council, where we speak on Star Wars and pop culture news. Abu Nas, thank you so much. And let me read your super chat, sir. He said, "I'm mad I'm not on the panel. I sent you the link, sir. But enjoying the show. All you guys are killing it now. Salute to you all and keep dropping the truth. Hashtag release the Snyder Cut." Thank you so much, Abu Nas. Thank you so much. Nice. We got 7 more minutes. Final thoughts on this. When do you think this movie is dropping? What platform? Do you think it's going back in theaters? Do you think it's going to be HBO Max? Do you think it's going to be on DVD? What are your thoughts? Starting with Tyler.
As of right now, my current choice is November, and I'm gonna say a theater run. That's what I'm gonna stick with.
I know Zack wants a theater run. I know he wants it.
I know. I don't. I mean, I'm just giving my opinion. I don't know if that's what's gonna happen, but yeah, that's how I feel.
I'll say limited theatrical experiences in certain markets.
Right.
HBO Max, but a physical copy that you're able to also purchase.
Like I want one.
A DVD that people, of course, we all want one. Everyone wants one on that.
I want the steel book
collector's
and everything.
Edition. Yeah,
I hope they have a steel book, all of them joints, because I'm buying them all. Each version, I'm getting it.
I could have $45 in my bank account, I'd still get
it. I think they'll get it into some theaters, but the theater equation is a difficult one because there's so much content fighting to get to a theater, you know, that I think they'll do like retrospective type showings, you know, in bigger sort of one-off theaters.
That's a good idea.
That's a good idea.
Like a Fathom event type deal.
Exactly.
Nerdy, what are your thoughts?
So I gotta agree with that. I think I think as of right now, with the whole situation happening, if it were to release in November, it would do better if it were to be on HBO Max. But I do agree with the idea of like limited theater, viewing with that, because again, people will want to see it in theaters. People want to have that movie theater experience, that all immersive experience of it.
And fans will travel.
Exactly. Fans will travel everywhere. Yeah. I mean, I'd do it. I mean, heck, I'd buy my plane ticket right now if it were to be released, and I'd be there in 2 days. But, again, I think, again, HBO Max, limited theater. And I think Jose Aguirre actually brought up a good point earlier, how if they're filming additional things, they have to edit those, right? They're getting additional scenes. So that'll take a little bit longer to get. So I would say I hate to say it, but it might end up being sometime next year that we get it. But that's just my speculation,
Well, Joss Whedon had 6 months to do a new Justice League movie, so
that's fair.
We saw that great. He nailed it.
No, 100%. That first scene says it all. Jesus. Okay, if somebody said, "Yeah, that's good. That's good. It's fine.
Yeah,
that's good enough." Yeah.
Yeah, make Martha make a bad joke. Yeah, that's good.
I'm pretty much agreeing with all you guys. Is limited release, definitely a limited theatrical release to in those bigger markets, your LA, your New York markets, for sure. And then of course I could see Snyder doing another event too, for it as well, like a weekend we're showing his movies, and then of course leading up to watching the Snyder Cut with him. Like, I went to the Snyder event last year. I mean, it's crazy that was the funnest time I've ever had watching PVS. Nothing will ever meet that, because the energy that the whole place had is crazy. And but when it comes to when it's released, next year most likely, just the way things are going this year. With everything that's happening and the fact that he still has to finish things up and he's still got another movie coming out. I can't see it coming, for another year. And that's what I keep on telling people. It's like, we got to be patient. And hopefully we get an announcement this year for sure.
Yeah.
But I just don't see it coming out till actually, because I want him to finish his movie, give us what he wants to do and take his time. That's
maybe the 3-year anniversary would be the day that he'd want to drop it, because everybody's excited about the 2-year anniversary. So 3-year anniversary would be epic to have that happen.
Dave, when you said we got to be patient and you feel like it's going to come out next year, that really hurt my soul.
I'm good at that.
But at the same time, if we just get an announcement date this year, I'm cool. I'm cool with this year.
Right.
The uncertainty's tough.
Because then when the man that will remain nameless, his name's rhyme with happier, we can all go, nah, 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 nah. No, I wouldn't do that. Okay. We got 3 more minutes till
you're better than that, Jay. You're better.
Yeah, I am.
Hey, I just wanted to throw something out there also. It's taken me forever to realize this, but Zach has been sharing a lot of scenes inside of Star Labs. Right. And I think it just hit me the other day that it looks like Steppenwolf kills Silas Stone in Star Labs. And then you see that scene where Victor is he's on his knees, weeping, I guess. And you can see Steppenwolf in the back. I think there's going to be an epic fight scene between them two in Star Labs.
Oh yeah.
And now I really want to see that.
Well, speaking of Victor, Sean.
Yes, sir.
Please plug what you've been doing.
What? Which one?
Which
the book?
Yeah, the book.
The book. Oh. I was like, Victor. I mean, if people haven't heard yet, I'm working on a book. It's called Release the Snyder Cut. It is a history of the fight to get the cut released. It's the stories of the people in the movement. I'd like to make an announcement. Can I make an announcement on this?
Man, do what you do. This is the plug show. Go and plug it.
I'll announce it here for the very first time, and then I'll put it on the RTSC book.
You heard it first on Fatal J
here too. But I came up with an idea this week that I'm going to work into the book. That there's going to be a chapter, a whole chapter that I want you guys. I want people in the movement, because the book. I've been saying this from the beginning. The book is about you guys. The book is for you guys. I want everybody who wants to get a message to Zach to send it to me, and I will put together an entire chapter that's just messages from the fans that I will put into the book. It'll be a complete section that's just, here's what people want to say about the movement, about the fight, about Zack's movies, whatever message you want to get out to Zack. I will take the time to put it into the book. It will become a portion of the book. And I'm opening up solicitations now. You can direct message me. You can email me. I'm at Sean@cinemablend.com. And I'll start promoting this on all of my social media feeds as well, too. I want to hear from you guys. Relatively short, not essays. But if you have a message that you would like to get out to Zack or to other people in the movement, I'm turning it over to everybody else. So that will be in addition to everything that I'm putting in the book, as well as it's the history of Zack in the DCEU, and it's the history of the movement and everything that the movement has accomplished. So
that's amazing.
Awesome. This is what I love about this movement. Everybody is together. Everybody's supporting each other. And Sean, the panel in chat, how many authors will put the supporters in the book like that?
Not many. That's amazing.
You need to buy that book. I know I'm buying it. And Sean, I would like to have an autograph on that book, sir.
You got it.
Hey,
promise.
Same for me, man.
Promise.
Well,
yeah,
definitely.
We can keep talking about Snyder Cut until eternity, until it drops. But we got to go because we got lives. You know those little things called live. So this is
kind of stopping right now. So
yeah, I know.
What we're gonna do? We're gonna go around the circle, plug your channel, and then we're gonna close out. Tyler, starting with you.
All right, I'm Tyler from Subjective Reviews, and don't forget to check out the live Twitch stream at 4 p.m. of BVS, because I think there's going to be a special guest on there. So yeah, definitely check it out.
Nice. I'm Sean O'Connell from CinemaBlend. You can follow me at Sean_O'Connell, or of course the @RTSC book Twitter feed as well too.
And I'm Dawson Widger from Nerdy in Many Ways. And on my videos, you can actually see me. So be looking out for that. Be sure to check out my channel. Thanks again, you guys.
I'm Dave, the Film Junkie, 2 E's at the end. I'm going to tune into the BVS watch that's happening, but I'm also going to be doing my own BVS watch tonight at 7 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Just going to sip something nice and warm to drink. So at least it's going to make my belly warm and my head fuzzy. But yeah, I'm just going to commentate on BVS. 3 hours of good time.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, you guys heard it. My name is Fatal J, and I'm weird and goofy, and I like to do weird things. And I always do something weird before the live stream ends, so I'm going to do it. Here it goes. Go!